So, we have finally made it to the end of 2025. As of the day I'm releasing this, it will be New Year's Eve. And it is now time to run down my top 15 favorite roller coasters. This list will only include roller coasters that I have ridden. I have currently ridden 63 roller coasters at this recording. And here are my 15 favorites. Number 15, Titan at Six Flags Over Texas. This is one of only 2 Giovanola hypercoasters, and I recently rode this for my first time in early December 2025. And I got a front row ride, and it's the only ride I've ever had on it. And this ride is very speedy. That is the main word I can use to describe it. And everyone says that the upper helix in the middle of the ride is a very forceful element. And I didn't really think it was that forceful. And everyone says the pull out after the first drop is not that forceful. But I thought that was really forceful. So it's a pretty weird ride, but it has its moments, and that's why it's at number 15. Number 14, Patriot at California's Great America. This was my first inverting roller coaster that I've ever ridden, and is currently my 3rd favorite. This ride is pretty fun. It's a short ride, but it's pretty fun. So, come out of the station, you go up the lift hill, you have this pretty nice twisted drop, and then you go into the vertical loop with a nice head chopper in the middle of it with a helix later in the ride. You have a couple turnarounds, that helix, and then you have this quick snappy dive before going into a whippy corkscrew, and then one more turnaround underneath the sky ride into the brake run. So, this ride is short but sweet, and it's pretty good as well. And this actually used to be a stand-up coaster called Vortex, which I was not able to ride. And I definitely recommend to go out to California's Great America and ride this coaster along with another one that's higher on this list before it closes sometime very soon. Number 13, Pandemonium, the Gerstlauer spinning coaster at Six Flags Over Texas. This was my first spinning coaster, and I have currently only done this ride, 2 of its clones, and Shredder. And this one is my favorite, because this one is the smoothest of all of them that I have done. That being this one, the one at Fiesta Texas, Spinning Dragons at Worlds of Fun, and Shredder. And this is a very forceful ride as well. So this was originally called Tony Hawk's Big Spin, and is now called Pandemonium. And if you look at the one at Fiesta Texas, there's actually still the skate ramps underneath the track, at least as of when we last went to that park. So, especially the second helix is the most forceful part, but the rest of the ride is pretty good as well. I especially love that final drop off the last mid-course and the final bunny hill, which is also really nice. Number 12, Wavebreaker at SeaWorld San Antonio. I just recently posted a POV of this, and it was a pretty nice POV. So this ride is starting to get a little bit rough in some of the turns. It's a little bit rattly, but nothing major. And it is not that forceful, but it still has a couple bits of forces. The main thing this ride is about is making you feel like you're on a jet ski. And I have been on a jet ski, and I know what it feels like, and this feels very similar. And this is also very fun, skimming across the water, and seeing the great views of Steel Eel and Barracuda Strike, which has now got its track completed. So, yeah, this is a pretty decent coaster, and it's actually my brother's favorite roller coaster that he's ridden. But it's only at number 12 for me. Number 11, Zambezi Zinger at Worlds of Fun. This is the first wooden coaster on this list, and the first of a couple. This one is the first coaster, I believe, to use the new Infinity Flyer trains from GCI. And it is kind of rough in a couple of transitions, but it has a pretty unique spiral lift hill. Unfortunately, we rode it in 2025, when for some reason Worlds of Fun decided to enclose the spiral lift hill, which made it definitely loud in there. So it is pretty bad. But the spiral lift hill and the turn that goes around it is also made of the new Titan track, which is glass smooth. And there's a couple pretty decent airtime pops as well. So, all in all, this is a pretty good ride, but just barely misses my top 10. Starting off, my top 10 favorite roller coasters is Powder Keg at Silver Dollar City. This is my favorite coaster that I rode at Silver Dollar City. I didn't ride Time Travel Outlaw 1 or Wildfire, but I really do like this ride. It reminds me of a hypercoaster with all the hills and the overbank turns, and it's pretty weird. You have this like inclined transfer track, and then you have an air launch with this weird spike behind it in case of a rollback because there's no stopping mechanism. And then you go into some floater airtime hills and overbanks, and then you actually go over the track of the old Buzzsaw Falls water ride, which is pretty interesting as well. And then you just abruptly go into a brake run and then a lift hill halfway through the ride. And then you have a turn up there, and then you have a nice drop and some turns and like a helix into the brakes. And I definitely recommend riding this in the back. The front is a little bit better for the launch, but everything else is better in the back, and it's just really nice in the back. Plus, the views in this ride are amazing. Just staring out at all the forests and the mountains and everything of the Ozarks, it's absolutely incredible. And also, don't sleep on the rest of this park. This might be my favorite amusement park I've ever been to. Getting into the single digits now, number 9 is my home coaster, as some would say, Boardwalk Bullet at Kima Boardwalk. This is a very, very compact gravity group wooden coaster that is just dropping the ball immediately right here. It is pretty rough, and the trains aren't that comfortable, and the operations aren't that good either. But the layout is so good for this ride, with the insane ejector on the drop, the crazy ejector S-hills, and then all the insane ejector and floater hills afterward. This ride is unforgettable if you ever get to ride it. So, definitely if you're ever near Houston, Texas, definitely come over to Kima Boardwalk and take a spin on Boardwalk Bullet. It's definitely worth your time. Number 8 is my favorite hypercoaster I have ridden, that being Mamba at Worlds of Fun. This ride is glass smooth, has tons of floater airtime, and the hills at the end offer some crazy ejector airtime. The main problem with this ride for me is the lack of padding on the trains, which you'll see with another coaster higher on this list, and this ride just has such a good layout. The ground-hugging helix is amazing, and I love the new color scheme. It really pops against the sky. So, this ride has the big floater hills, the weird profile drop, and all the insane bunny hills. And on the transition out of the helix, there's this little bunny hill that offers an insane abrupt pop of just plain ejector airtime all across the train. And it's absolutely insane. And then the final turn over the ride plaza is also very good. The main problem with it, besides the trains, I'd say is the loudness of the brakes. But that's really a personal issue, and not really an issue with the ride itself. Number 6 is that other coaster I was mentioning in the last one. That being Steel Eel at SeaWorld San Antonio. On our most recent visit to SeaWorld San Antonio, which was yesterday as of recording this, it was closed, along with another coaster you'll see higher on this list. But this ride is still pretty good. It's like Mamba, but with an extra hill in the outward leg, and the helix in the middle is also pretty good. And this is also a terrain coaster, fun fact, because the helix actually drops down a little bit below the rest of the ride. The colors of this look almost as good as Mamba in my opinion, and the main problem with this by far is how unpadded the trains were. On Mamba you get a tiny bit of padding. On this there is zero padding whatsoever. It's not that bad as you're shooting up, but as you're falling down, you have to brace yourself, otherwise it will really hurt. So if they can replace the trains maybe with B&M trains like you see on Steel Dragon 2000, which by the way I have not ridden, this ride would be a lot higher for me, maybe even making my top 3. At number 6 was my first really big coaster that I rode, if you classify this as really big. New Texas Giant at Six Flags Over Texas. This ride is very fun. It has some insane ejector airtime, specifically on the step up after the first drop and the speed hill right before the mid-course. This ride is absolutely incredible, world-class ride. And it still doesn't even make my top 5, showing all the amazing coasters I have ridden that I have above this. But the drop on this is absolutely insane at a 79-degree angle that twists as well, a tiny bit. And there is a bunch of airtime, and the wave turns at the beginning are underrated. I really like the wave turns. And my least favorite thing about this ride is actually the tunnels, because it gets very loud in there between the ride making noise and the guests screaming on it. So they probably won't take that out, and I don't see why they really need to, but I just don't like the loudness of in there. But this ride is at number 6 for me, and I have a couple more over it, which you will see in just a second. Starting off the top 5 is Prowler at Worlds of Fun. This ride has a lot of airtime. It has 14 airtime moments in the front row and 15 in the back row, because actually the drop does give some floater airtime. There is one little rough section, but I can forgive that. And the trains are absolutely incredible for this ride. So this ride has a lot of speed, is about 85 feet tall, which is actually not that tall, but it feels a lot taller. And all the elements hit really nicely. So I definitely recommend riding this if you're near Worlds of Fun or Kansas City. I definitely recommend stopping in for a ride on this, and you can also do Mamba and Zambezi Singer. So this is my favorite roller coaster in Missouri, and for good reason, because it's such a good ride. Coming in at number 4 is Gold Striker, California's Great America. This ride is pretty high for me, but the main reason is not really high, because this might be my number 1 if it wasn't so rough. The layout on this ride is absolutely incredible, with tons of ejector airtime, crazy positive G's, and wicked laterals. The drop is also in a freaking tunnel, which is absolutely amazing. The trains are also really good, and the queue line is right in the middle of the ride, so you get some amazing views of it. But the roughness is just really bad on this. So I really hope that the Six Flags chain decides to relocate this coaster, along with maybe Patriot, when the park closes. But I'm not keeping my hopes up, because it's a wooden coaster that is now almost 13 years old. My third favorite roller coaster that I have ridden is the Joker at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This is my favorite coaster from RMC I have ridden, and might be the most underrated coaster that I have ridden. This ride has a ton of airtime, the drop is crazy with it being twisted, and the inversions are all amazing. A lot of people say the stall is their favorite part of this ride, or at least their favorite inversion, but actually that is my least favorite. But all three inversions of this are world class. My favorite is actually the final barrel roll, just because of how slow it is with the perfect combination of laterals and hang time, but the step up underflip is also really, really good. The Outer Banks step up is really nice, but there's another one that actually does it better, higher up on this list, and everything about this I just really like. I just can't put it higher because of its short length and filler overbanks, and because the next two coasters are just so good. My second favorite roller coaster I have ridden, and it was my favorite for a while, but it has recently been dethroned, is Texas Stingray at SeaWorld San Antonio. This was, I'm pretty sure, my first GCI, and this was, up until recently, my favorite coaster in Texas. And I love this ride so much. It has amazing trains, an absolutely massive and incredible first drop, some amazing floater airtime moments, ejector airtime moments, has one little rough spot, which is the main con with this, but everything else is absolutely incredible. I do prefer the higher up coaster, the one that's above this on this list, but this ride is very good, and go check out my review on this for more information about it. Finally, the moment you have all been waiting for. My favorite roller coaster I have ridden is Circuit Breaker at Codaland. We rode this ride yesterday, recently, and I got 32 rides on it, most of them in the back row, because the front row always had a line. And my favorite seat on this is the back right seat. It has absolutely insane laterals, amazing hang time, the tilt track is awesome, and the soundtrack is just the chef's kiss on everything. The front row, both sides of that, are also really good. And this is a ride where it does depend on which side you sit on for a different experience. The left side has a lot more whip, while the right side has a lot more hang time. The first time I rode this, it was pretty cold and it was running pretty slow, but recently it was running really fast, and the S-Hill and Final Barrel Roll are so whippy. I imagine that Final Barrel Roll is how the Mosasaurus Roll would feel like. So, that is Circuit Breaker, which is my number one, and I will be probably making a review on this ride coming out soon. It might already be out by the time you're watching this, but I don't really know right now. So there you have it, my top 15 favorite roller coasters I have ever ridden. This was a very fun list to put together, and I hope you enjoyed it. Come back in 1 year from now on New Year's Eve 2026 to hear my top 15 roller coasters then. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.